am jamming. Friday, Fortnight Fitness, last day of the fall fitness training, the functional side, which we did accomplish in various different ways. And towards the end of this season, we switched up to focus on chest work and upper body strength. And it is feeling mighty fine. Day 2 of a scheduled triple header. We love getting into the gym on Fridays, and maybe close to this holiday season it's a little bit more congested, but not so much, because you know the college kids are in and they want to work out so they can look good for the weekend and for the holidays and all this good stuff. Kind of the same reason we're doing it, and we want to have a good, efficient, and optimally operating vessel. So today, a little bit more moderate on the chest work. I'm thinking maybe we can get some flat benching in, whether it is the barbell press or flat dumbbell press. Maybe some exotic chest work, and of course we got to keep the legs in the mix. I think today we'll start out with legs if this is possible. For yours truly, squats is kind of like the leg version of the bench press. It's kind of tricky. It involves a whole lot of stuff that could go wrong on you. But if you do it right, you can get some high numbers. We're still healing from the sciatic issue. I can feel it when I do a straight leg deadlift or an RDL or something like that, and sometimes with the squats. So if we have the opportunity to start off with squats, they won't be very heavy. And squats won't be very heavy, we predict, for a very long time. But we're not giving up on them. Although my mentor back in the day, he told me that he stopped squatting in his 40s, man. I think he called it at 45. Well, I told him, well, that's not going to be me. And here we are past 45, and we're still squatting, man. Nowhere near the numbers we were getting pre-45, but we're still doing it. And I think it's important to be able to get into a squat and get back up, whether you've got weight on your back or not. Besides the in-between stuff, we expect to go moderate on legs, moderate on chest, and a little heavier on the back, the upper back and the lats. And we may work on some either straight up pull-ups or the 1-arm pull-ups, or the 1.5-arm pull-ups, because we usually do better in the gym with those things because we can have a neutral grip. We're still not rocking them out. The vessel is still getting used to what we want to do, and we still need to get a little stronger. If we are not showing improvement by the end of January, well, then we're just going to have to try some new strategies, man. Maybe add a band or do some negatives, but quitting is not an option. We don't expect to have to resort to those options just because we know how the body works. If I can do one more pull-up per day or per week, then it's working. And speaking of work, let's get into the mix, get the work done, looking for the sweet spot. And while I don't promise any footage, Fridays are usually pretty good days to get a little bit in here and there. All right, let's do this. We'll be back with you with the report right after this message. I'm doing now what I should have been doing between the ages of 25 and 35. And if I believed in regrets, that is, by regretting something, I could change it, I would regret that decade of inactivity and sedentary lifestyle. However, on the other hand, if I hadn't experienced it then I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, and I wouldn't have the mindset that I have now for fitness. So that decade set me up for every decade that came after it. So I'm not mad, I'm not bitter, but sometimes I imagine where I could be now if I didn't have that 10-year gap in my fitness training. Now we're in the sweet spot, gang. Just about 2 hours gone, and we've got to get out of here in about 10-15 minutes, but we got a lot of good work done. Worked the chest the way we said we would. More details on the way back. Session 2 of our trifecta, quite successful. We stayed on point. We got the script laid out the way that we imagined it, starting off with squats, getting in the light-ish chest work. Bench press, we worked the Fibonacci sequence from very low weight, high reps, to just the opposite. Did a couple of single reps, knocking on the door to 150. I think we had 155 as a high note this year, and then for some reason we just backed off on it, man. We went back to deadlifts. I felt like we had another 30 minutes of energy in us, but I looked at the clock and said, discipline, man. Got to exercise the discipline. We can't be staying in here for 3.5 hours anymore. We say that now, and then the composition of the vessel changes a little bit, and ego gets involved, and the next thing you know, we're like, 3 hours, baby. 3 hours. 3 hours in the gym, feeling great. So it was very light legs today. We did barbell squats. We didn't even do any split squats. We could always practice them at home if we need to. And I think this is in preparation for tomorrow, which we are planning to be heavy legs, very light chest, and the gun show. We did a little bit for triceps. When you're working chest, you're working triceps. You know, that's just the way it goes. You need these arms, the back of the arms, to push the weight away. So saying chest and triceps is like redundant, man. With the exception of just flexing your chest, I don't know, maybe the pec deck, there's almost no exercise that you do for chest, especially a press, that doesn't involve triceps. So long, but yeah, info. We did the before pictures, just very raw, no lotion, no shaving, no body makeup or anything like that. A little bit of flexing so we could see how the vessel was looking. And it looks better than it did, let's say, this time last year. But we still see room for improvement, lots of room for improvement, especially up top. So we'll be sharing those eval images on our other channel, and we'll give you the link if you're interested in following that kind of stuff. And that is it. We are anticipating positively that we're going to wrap up our triple play tomorrow. But for the rest of this lovely day, on the eve of the winter solstice, we're going to chill for a while. We thank you as always for all the support, all the good deeds. We'll see you next workout.